in a manly manner and unbiased way. You know what I'm saying? Not being judged and so on. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of that stuff in the upcoming months. I think I have mentioned this before. We're also going to set up an event for men. Hopefully, we can do it once a year or twice a year or whatever. But we're gonna start setting things up. We're gonna try to be about it instead of just talking about it.
Okay.
You know, now it's gonna be an open invitation. If the men wanna come out, great. If they don't wanna come out, you know, this is gonna be a place. It's gonna be a place for men. You know what I'm saying? We'll probably make it a 2 or 3 day event, or maybe we just take a whole day to do it. But part of that is gonna be just men. No women allowed. A portion of that women will be allowed because we may have a woman therapist or different things. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we do the vendor and stuff like that, we're gonna have different things going on. But yeah, as you said, men don't have enough outlets to where they can just go. Because one, we're not shoppers. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Women, they can get upset or they can get stressed and they just go spending money. Most men, no. You know, even if we go and pick out a pair of shoes, we may get 1 or 2 and we're done. You know what I'm saying? But the woman, she'll shop the whole store. Even if she's only buying one, she'll shop the whole mall, you know, looking at all of them before she select one. Or she may have already selected the one that she wants, you know, but she'll look all over. You know what I'm saying? And they have all the programs for women, women empowerment, women this and that. You know, a whole bunch of different places. They even have women's programs.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? But not as much for men. You know?
I think we got to find, like, us, we try to find our own outlets. Like, sometimes, you know, you go play basketball, watch a movie or something like that.
Right.
You know, but as far as, like, community, like, actively providing some programs for men, you know, it's probably just now I could be wrong, but probably just now I see just some, you know, these are becoming more prevalent, you know, but as far as more community based, it's a lot more women, you know, a lot more women programs that's available.
Right. Even a lot of those things that set up for both, they're more receiving
geared
to the women, you know. They promote more on the women or for the women's side, you know what I'm saying? But definitely. But so right now, a lot of men, they just go to the strip club, you know. Strip club, as you said before, they look to another woman, you know, to release that stress, or even if there's no intercourse involved, maybe the one you're with is not listening, or always in your ear.
But that's how it starts.
Yeah, a lot of times that's how it starts. You know, or you just want to relax, and when you get home, there's always something going on or whatever, you know, and you just want to get away. You know, and some men, they go to those outlets before they even go home. You know, they go to a bar and drink, or they go to the strip club and, you know, and drink before they go home. You know, and by the time they go home, they're too lit to even listen to it. They don't even care. You know,
day in, day out, man.
Day in, day out for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? One is costly. You know, 2, it's deteriorating. Because once you start forming that habit, sometimes it's hard to break. You know, just like gaining weight. It's easy to put it on, but taking it off is a month, man. You know, so yeah, that's one thing. What other ways men look? Playing basketball.
Like I said, like us, like men, we're gonna be more fit. If we're stressful, we're gonna look towards a physical activity or something to release that stress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we may not deal with more therapy as well. As much as we're saying there's not enough outlets, we may not even want to deal with too much emotional, you know, let outs and mental, you know, therapy and stuff like that. We like to get down physically, you know. But I think we should start accepting a lot of, you know, mental therapy as well. You know, so we can work out some of the issues. You know, you can cover it up as much as you can, but then we have to really start with some of the mental activities and issues and abuses and stuff we've been through.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Once we start doing some of these things or having some of these things available, maybe some of the killing will stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're looking elsewhere for that support, a lot of men are not in the home, and sometimes that elsewhere pulls the men out of the home completely, you know, and that's not a good thing. So those programs are very important to put in place, to get done, to do, you know, for men to be men, to stay men, and to learn how to be men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to also even to become men again.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because we are losing our men. If it's not to the troubles of the world, it's to the drunkenness, to the drugs, or to gunfire. You know, recently we had a shooting in Riviera. Sadly, kids are now being shot, women are being shot. You know, it's ridiculous. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I wish one of the therapists and stuff were here. I mean, I've thought about this, you know, I've said it before on a couple of shows.
I really thought Jimmy was gonna be here. But
Yeah, I mean, I have some questions, like some real good questions for them too. You know, I'm not against the therapy and stuff like that. Of course, I'm an advocate for it, but I want to know as well. I mean, is it just like, are we in kind of like a endless cycle of treating men and women as far as therapy? I mean, there's got to be a route where, not to take people's career away, where this wouldn't be needed as much. Like, there's got to be an underlying problem. Like, are we just helping the next generation of men? Because when they're 17, 18, 19, doing whatever, by the time they realize that they need therapy, because I know one of the guys you had here, they were helping men that's probably around the age that I am. So it's almost like, you know, the next generation moves up, finally realize I need therapy, and do their thing. But while the younger generations are not even, like, what are we doing to stop that cycle?
right. That's
Why do we need therapy so much? What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I was trying to say before. Is if we can catch it early, would be great. But if not, if we could at least catch those that need it and keep them in the home, that would prevent the younger ones from needing it
So
later
the home
on.
broken.
You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of it is because that the men that were supposed to be in the home are no longer in the home. You see what I'm saying? And that goes across the board: poor, middle class, and rich folks.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of the rich kids you see that's on drugs, it's because the mom is basically raising them, or the nanny is raising them, or the chauffeur is raising them. You know what I'm saying? Where they just get whatever they want. You see what I'm saying? But that's not what they need. You see what I'm saying? That's two different things.
Right.
What you want and what you need.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I may need something to drink. I may need some water to quench my thirst.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But what I want is that chocolate milk.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Not that it's necessarily good for me, but if there's nobody there to tell me to drink the water, or the water is good for me, that I need the water, then I'm gonna do what I wanna do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the nanny's role is to keep the kid quiet and to keep him happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because some of them, if they do any different, they're fired.
And that's what I'm saying. So I mean, if you got a household, mom and dad have a child, then they split. That dad's not there, or even before. A lot of the times, before the child's been born, dad's not there, or mom's not there. Now this child's gonna obviously may grow up with some issues. So that's just the next generation. I mean, the cycle doesn't stop. He grows up, needs therapy, and then the next, same thing, same issues again.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So
but-
how do we stop this part? Yeah, we could give the therapy as it's needed, but it got to get to a point where the therapy is like
It's needed less.
it's needed less.
But if you think
but it's
about
still
it,
needed.
it still goes back to what I'm saying. It's still keeping the father or the uncles, more involved.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? In or out the house.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I'm divorced, but I still take care of my kids.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I still spend time with my kids.
Yeah.
I pick up my kids. I do different activities with them.
Mm-hmm.
If they need me, they call me. I'm
Mhm.
there. You see what I'm saying? Some of these kids don't get that. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, the kids don't look for that. The parents themselves don't make themselves available. That's another show we have to do. We'll do that when we talk about the kids starting next month. The men don't make themselves available for their kids. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And sometimes it's the other parent, for example, like the mother,
Mhm.
that's stopping the dad
Yeah.
from doing what he's supposed to do.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? For whatever reason, maybe it may be because now he's seeing somebody else,
Mhm.
and she doesn't like that, or he was going back to an ex or something,
Mhm.
and she doesn't like that, and now she's giving him trouble. She doesn't want him to see the kids, or she don't want the kids to be around that woman, this and that, blah blah blah.
That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? But whether you do or not, they're still his or her dad. You see what I'm saying? And especially the boys, they need their dad. So the therapy really needs to. If we could catch them at a young age, great. But also catch the older ones, especially those that grew up without the father, to now it's normal for them. Some of us catch it and say, okay, I don't want this for my child. But some of us don't catch that. You see what I'm saying? They'll say, I'll go without a dad and I did fine.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be all right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or they'll be like, well, I give you child support, that's all you need.
Mhm.
You'll be all right.
Mhm.
But the child needs more than just the money. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And the child hardly even see that money first of all.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That either goes to paying bills or to do the mom's hair or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Mhm.
I'm sorry to say, but it's true. You see what I'm saying? Go get their hair and nails done or buy a new outfit. Or, if it is used productively, it's used to pay a bill that needs to be paid, or food or something to put on the table. You see what I'm saying? So the kids don't really see that much. So then as men, we need to make ourselves more available to our children.
Definitely.
Keep that open line of communication with our children. That way, when we tell them not to do this, they can listen. When we tell them what's out there waiting for them, they can listen, whether we're in the home or not in the home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's something that we definitely gonna be talking about starting on the following month. We're gonna talk about kids. We're gonna talk about dads and moms and so on and so forth. But yeah, that is one of the outlets right now. One of the biggest outlets right now is two things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, three. Well, let's say four. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Go.
But there's four top ones that I can think of right now. What are the top four outlets for men that men do to get away from either their stress or their spouse or even troubles at work or their long day? My top four is one, the drinking,
Substance abuse somewhere.
substance abuse.
Definitely a top.
Either drinking or drugs. Then you have strip club. You see what I'm saying? That's why now you see them popping up everywhere now. And
More
two,
everywhere.
and last one you see somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because even the women to tell you what you want to do, somebody has it.
Yeah.
You
Goes
understand?
both ways.
It goes both ways.
Mhm.
Right. You know what I mean? Those are the top four for me. Do you want to add something to that?
I mean, I definitely some sort of a physical activity. Some men like to, I don't know, go work out, like I say, play ball, stuff like that. Definitely some sexual activity. bar
And
none.
if they're not gonna get it at home,
They're gone.
they're gonna get
They're
it
gone.
somewhere.
Substance abuse, some kind of abuse of any kind of substance, easily drinking, man.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
And a lot of time it's more than one of those things.
Yeah, it could be a number of things.
It's,
It could be a number of
if
things.
not all of them.
Yeah.
Right, if not all of them, you know. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's sad, but it is the way it is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it is important as men that we look into getting some therapy done. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm not fully 100% okay with it, to be honest. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I have learned to accept it because I've seen what it
Results?
can do. I've seen the results on some of the men. You see what I'm saying? So I know the power of it. You know, so I've learned to accept it as a healing mechanism. You see what I'm saying? So
I think it boils down to the actual therapist and their experience,
Right.
and you know what they've encountered. You know, some therapists have seen everything around the world twice. You know, they've heard everything. You know what I'm saying? So they
Right.
know how to deal with it. You know, it's almost like they had a hands-on experience with it without even actually having a hands-on. So I think it boils down to actually the therapist, man, experience.
yeah,
You know.
definitely important on the therapist and like you said, either the experience or even if not experience with them dealing with it themselves, but encountering those people who have dealt with it, you know, that is definitely a big one. Nick says, I do all the time. That's awesome, Nick. That's awesome. I actually see him. He stays involved in his girls' lives.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But as far as I want to talk about to go get away, men use that as therapy. That's therapy to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's therapy to me. They drink, they get drunk. Yeah, some of them get real happy, you know, or giggly and then sleepy.
Yeah.
But then again, some of them get real violent.
True.
You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Some of them get real violent. And then
Yeah.
they start whooping on the woman or the kids and so on and so forth.
Horrible, man.
It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. Although some of them gets relaxed, I've seen both. You know what I'm saying? I personally have seen both sides of it. Yeah, I've seen both sides of it. Unfortunately, I've seen it in my family. You see what I'm saying? Both sides of it. So that's why I myself don't get addicted to anything. Right? It's not for me.
Yeah. It takes over you.
Yeah, it takes over. You know, I mean, I have a drink or two or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I get a little silly, but as far as getting drunk and doing this and that, it's not for me.
Yeah.
And if I see myself even heading that route, you know, like 2-3 days a week, if you're getting drunk 3 days a week, if you don't wake up, you don't realize something's wrong, you don't wake up, you're killing yourself. Killing yourself slowly, you know, and you're killing the people around you. Not only you killing the people around you, but you're killing the relationships around you. You know what I'm saying? You're killing your relationship with your mate, with your children, or whoever else, with your friends, whoever else may be around you. You know, depending on how it affects you, you're killing that. You see what I'm saying? Because how productive could you be if you can't even stand up? If you can't hold a conversation? You understand what I'm saying? And us as, I'll say that to the people that's with those people, you have to find a way to help them to overcome that. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing I also wanted to say when we talked about therapy. Therapy is not always you going to a therapist. You see what I'm saying? The therapy we talked about is all these different things that we talk about that men do to get away. But at the same time, you as their mate can serve as a therapist for them without them actually going to a therapist. You see what I'm saying? Because if you love them and they love you, there's one way, or at least that one thing you can do to either help them to slow down, you know, or whatever it is. It could be the way you communicate with them, you know, or the way you treat them. I don't know. You know your men better than I do. You know, but you should be able to help them to get over that. You be their own personal therapist as their mate. You know, and if they don't listen, hopefully it doesn't come down to where it gets worse. Yeah. Anything you want to say, sir?
I mean, what bothers me, because I mean, I'm always somebody that's trying to find a solution to the thing. I just feel like it's gonna be it's like an endless cycle.
Honestly, so it is gonna be an endless cycle. But we can slow it down. We can minimize it. You see what I'm saying? Because before alcohol, what? Before strip clubs, what?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff come from the food we eat too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, depression and all that stuff come from the food we eat and the things we encounter on a daily basis. You know, even in the water that we drink. You know, even in certain demographics where you live. You see what I'm saying? Believe it or not, some people may believe it, some may not. They do things in certain areas, you know, using as guinea pigs.
I mean, you could go. I mean, New York City versus Lake City, where I just came from. I mean,
people in the big urban cities and stuff like that environment's gonna be a lot more stressful. Man.
Right.
I mean, we all know that for sure.
Look at Flint.
You know what I'm saying? They're stressful. Look at the water in
Flint, Michigan. That is just
stressful
ridiculous.
for people. That has nothing to do with relationships, stuff like that. That's just the way the environment is, the way they, oppress those people, man. That's what it is.
It is what it is, but we do need to
Stressful
change.
society.
Yeah, to society, it's crazy. Any last words you want to say?
Oh man, I just wanna definitely, man, keep your stress level down. I know we living in the age of just when the stress is at an all-time high. You know, we're dealing with police shootings here, relationship beatings here, this and that, substance abuse everywhere. Just keep the stress levels down, man. If you gotta check in with somebody, even though if you're not comfortable with it, hey, try it once and see how it is, man.
Yeah.
It can alleviate a lot.
Give it a chance. Try it for a month or two. It's not gonna kill you.
Yeah, it shouldn't kill you.
Right.
Just
Right.
let it go.
Yeah. What I like to say is that whatever outlet that you look for, whatever type of therapy is going to help you, I suggest that you try to make it something that's constructive. Maybe like we said, working out or play some type of sport, because that's good for your heart, one.
Yeah.
And it's good for your physiques as well. I would never turn to drug for that, but if you're already there, I advise you to seek counseling and seek therapy and seek rehab, because there is a better way. You just have to figure it out. And if you can't figure it out for yourself, get help. Okay? Get help. And as men, don't forget, stay involved in your family's life. Stay involved in your kids' lives.
Yes.
Because that is important.
Important.
The future.
Critical.
You don't want them to be where you are. So try to guide and gear them to that better path. All right? We're not going to stay here with y'all long tonight. It's already 11. All right? Anyways, 2018. We love you. All right? Align yourself. Wakanda. Forever.
Peace.